Hi, my name's Sue and this is my story. I'm sharing my story because people with disabilities have to deal all the time with people thinking they know their abilities better than they do. My story is also about my experience with MS before and after, and the journey I've been on. Stories for people who are newly diagnosed with MS, who don't really understand what's happening and what their life will be after their diagnosis. I have MS and I was diagnosed in 2000. Today I'm going well, but every day is different. I have 3 children, a son and 2 daughters and 2 grandchildren, a grandson and granddaughter. We came to live permanently in Echuca in 1983. We had spent the previous 3 or 4 years coming up on weekends and holidays, and we decided we'd like to live here. And 32 years later, here we are. We owned Steam Packet Motel and Steakhouse for 13 years in Echuca, and after selling that, we owned a discount shop in Kerrang for 10 years. Probably the first symptoms I had of MS was when we owned the motel. I'd have days that I'd literally crawl up and down the stairs when I was doing the cleaning, but I just put it down to exhaustion, which MS, fatigue's a big thing because of running the motel and the restaurant. It did take a number of years. I started falling over and that progressively got worse. The doctors just put it down to, said I had weak ankles or a couple of falls. Well, my son's 21st, I was literally dragged home. I could not lift a leg. That was the first bad attack I had. But the doctors suggested that perhaps I'd had too much to drink, which I hadn't, and everyone verified. So yes, I'd just fall down and that was it. And I still do it. I probably saw doctors for 5 years before they decided that they would send me to a neurologist. And it took the neurologist 12 months. 12 months I had tests and things, but they never suggested that I had MS. So that was a complete shock when they said that I had MS. I had to have MRIs and lumbar punctures, as well as they started with blood tests and things, but it ended up MRI and lumbar puncture was what gave the diagnosis. In 2002, my husband James and Daniel went to Africa. James had a sore on his head, and when he was having his injections, he asked the doctor about it, and he said no, it was nothing. When he came back, it had grown, so in October, I think it was, he had it removed, and they said that it was fine. But the doctor said that if it grew back, he'd remove it again for nothing. In May in 2003, he had it removed again and was diagnosed with Merkel cell cancer. The doctor gave him 3 months to live, which was rather distressing to say the least. But after treatment, 6 weeks of treatment at Peter Mac, he's fine, and he's just been discharged officially from Peter Mac 10 years. I really didn't have time to think about that I had MS, and it was only when I hit the ground or something that I'd sort of, but I always got up and said, well, I can't go down this week. I have to get going. I knew there was a support group, and when I first accepted home help, which took a long time. That was on the Monday when the support group was, so that was, oh, I'd like to go but I can't go. But I changed a couple of years ago. They were changing all home help around, so I changed to Tuesday and I started going to the support group. Echuca has an MS support group which I'm I don't know what I'm the coordinator of, that's the word I'm looking for. At the moment we only have 5 people that come regularly, even though I know there's 22 people in Echuca diagnosed with MS. But that's okay. It took me a long time to go to the support group. People just have to be ready to do it, to have the need of it. We don't sit around being miserable. It's just a morning get together between 5 ladies. I think it's important for people to be able to talk to other people who have MS, to not be miserable about it, but sort of if suddenly you got pins and needles in your arms or something, and you don't understand, is this MS or what it is, or why have I got this and you haven't got it. It's good to have other people to talk to who know what you're going through. And everyone's different. Everyone has MS, can have totally different symptoms and just be different. I don't know whether if I'd had an early diagnosis, it would have helped. It would have helped emotionally and mentally, because then I would have known that yes, there was something wrong and I had a diagnosis, instead of doctors, sending me here and sending me there and telling me I'm awkward and that. I don't think it wouldn't have made any difference to my life, but I think it would have, for everyone's sake, it would have, because everyone was getting quite frustrated and stressed, especially Daniel. I had one very bad fall Christmas Day and he was very upset about it. I think it's important for themselves emotionally, for their family, just to find out if there is something wrong and what it is, and if anything can be done, or to get the help. They say now that the earlier you start treatment, the longer it holds off the progression. So in that respect it's very important. The diagnosis has changed who I am. I think I'm probably a bit more stubborn and independent. I don't I like my independence. I appreciate it when people want to help, but I do say to my family, if I need the help, I will ask for it. I have a walker, and my grandchildren love to ride on my walker, and my daughter-in-law says, oh, they're getting too big now and one day you're not going to be able to do it. And that's what I say to her, that's right. One day I am not going to be able to push them on my walker, and that's why I'm going to keep doing it as long as I can. All I wanted when Daniel got married was to be able to hold my grandchild. I was really concerned that by the time I had my grandchildren that I wouldn't be able to hold them. But I got that. I can't lift them up now, or that's not quite right. I back myself into a corner and I can lift them up, or now someone lifts them up on a chair so I can have my kisses and cuddles, or they sit on my knee. But I did get to hold them as babies. They love to come up here. So we try and have them up here as often as we can. And we have the first weekend in May, we have a very special family weekend in Bright with other friends and families. You're going to make me cry. Maybe one thing I've learnt with my experiences is to turn your can'ts into cans and accept yourself and just get on with your life the best way you can.